Hey folks, so welcome back. This is Athletes Incorporated. Check us on ibtv.us, Roku, YouTube, comment, subscribe. We're just going to finish a few short things about the NFL draft, and then we're going to move on to the NBA playoffs. Harold, what did you want to, touch base on as far as?
There were a couple things to note, folks, that you want to know is the kid from CSU who was involved years ago. He was shot when they had the mass shooting at the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado.
Right.
Went on to play at CSU. Great interior offensive lineman.
Right.
He signed with the Los Angeles Chargers.
David Golditch.
David Golditch, real great kid. Then we wanted to also mention that the only person to be drafted who has no football experience at all is a huge Australian kid from he's Tongan, who's a big star down there in Australian football. Mm-hmm. I can't pronounce his name.
His name's Jordan Maliata. He's 6'8", 348 pounds. Was drafted in the 7th round by the Philadelphia Eagles.
Who say they're going to try to make a tackle out of him. Mr. Irrelevant, that's the last player taken in the draft at 256.
256.
A kid from SMU.
SMU, Trey Quinn, who actually had more receptions than Cortland Sutton,
mm-hmm.
who was, had a low first round grade. But
and still, folks, the big thing that the SEC uses as one of their big recruiting tools, 53 players were taken from the SEC. The only SEC team that didn't have a player drafted was University of Kentucky.
Vanderbilt had a guy.
Oh yeah, but everyone in the SEC, the only one that didn't have that. So that rounds up. Any more football?
I only want to say Isaiah Oliver from CU. Mm-hmm. He got drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, and also Michael Gallup,
who was up for the Biletnikoff Trophy. Great receiver.
Yeah.
He goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Probably takes Dez Bryant's spot.
And I don't know if Dez Bryant or Brandon Marshall, with this great receiver class, I don't know if they even get back in the mix.
Oh, they're going to get signed by somebody, but now it's going to be at a really low. If you talk about a pay cut, it's going to be a big one.
Right.
But now we go to the NBA, folks. Cleveland Cavaliers go to Game 7. It's back at home.
Back at home.
Probably big as the game being the 7th and deciding if they go on in the playoffs. This could be LeBron James. If they were to lose, this could be LeBron James' last game as a Cleveland Cavalier. Right. He says the two big things are what is going to be best for his family. He already has a home, and his children go to school in LA.
Mm-hmm.
He says that, and the possibility, the availability, the chance to win.
Right.
So,
what do you think was been going on with that series? Because the Cavs and the Pacers are kind of legendary. Well, the Cavs and the Heat were legendary. But what is so great about the Pacers that they match up so well with the Cavs?
That's one of those things, like in football. Rivalry with the Bears and the Packers. It doesn't matter what the records are.
Right.
They're going to play hard against each other. If Paul George would have stayed, folks, you have to think the Pacers would have put the Cavaliers away by now.
Right.
LeBron has literally put this team on his back and doing everything, really doing too much.
Right.
He's at the point now where he's trying to win so hard that he's not letting other people help.
Right.
And one of the big things, as a coach, I can tell you, one of the big things of a team is let everyone do their part. And he's really doing too much, man. So you're kind of taking Kevin Love out of the mix.
Yeah. Well, they're asking Kevin Love to do things that he's not comfortable
But
doing.
even so, he would be scoring more and doing more if LeBron is not just controlling everything right now. And then, folks, the other big one last night, the Golden State Warriors beat the Pelicans, who I really think is a great team, and I think if they had DeMarcus Cousins, it'd be a different story, but that's if and ands. But the big thing to come out of that game is Steph Curry did not play, and they still scored 76 points in the first half, which is a franchise record.
Yeah.
They did that without Steph Curry, so you can only imagine what would go on.
Who was supposed to be back for the second game, for game 2, folks.
Yeah. And now you have a rested 76ers team with great players. Well, they'll play the Boston Celtics.
Right.
The Celtics coming off a real great series, which they didn't have Kyrie Irving.
And won't have him.
Yeah, well, it won't have him for the whole thing. But you talk about some young kids playing really hard.
Right.
It's just beautiful to watch. I think we'd be.
And you know, on Friday the Jazz closed out the Thunder.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because you look on paper, you got Carmelo Anthony, you got Russell Westbrook, and you got Paul George.
Yeah.
They couldn't get it done.
Russell Westbrook doesn't really want anyone else to be the show but him.
Right.
The fact that at one point OKC had Westbrook's, the kid from
Kevin Durant and James
Kevin Durant and James
Harden.
It shows someone of those three
Right.
won't share the ball or play.
Right.
And I think that it's Westbrook.
Oh, absolutely.
And then he gets frustrated and stops playing some of the time.
Right.
You have to think, man, that the rookie of the year should be the kid from the Jazz.
Devin Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell from University of Louisville, which, by the way, folks, was the first round draft choice of our own Denver Nuggets. They draft him number 1 and immediately trade him to the Jazz for whatever that they got from the Jazz, but it certainly didn't overcome with this.
Right.
And here's a young kid who he's third. Only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan
Right.
have scored more points in their rookie campaign in the playoffs than this kid. And this is a guard, and he is rough and physical.
Yep.
He beat Paul George up.
Which I've never seen.
I've never seen that
I've
either.
never seen that
I've
happen.
never seen anyone go at him physically like that and just whip his butt.
Yeah. I've never seen
And that don't even talk about what he's doing on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, just doing everything. So I look for the Jazz comes in against
the Rockets.
They play the
I got them
Rockets.
beating the Rockets too.
That's going to be a good one because the Jazz after this, they got young legs. James Harden I don't know why, but seems to be in the finals of these big. He just
And it's his history not to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
It's been his history.
Yeah.
Who do you got winning tonight with the Cavs and the Cavs and the Pacers? Who do you have winning tonight?
I think the Cavs are going to get him, and the only reason why I think the Cavs are going to get him, it's at home.
Right.
I don't think LeBron James wants to go out this way,
Right.
so he's even going to take over more. If he can get a little help, and it seems to be like we're talking about the history, this is the kind of game that the forward played for the Nuggets.
Right.
He shows up. He'll be hitting 3-pointers. We know Kevin Love will do
J.R.
a fine
Smith.
job. Yeah, J.R.
J.R.
Smith.
Smith.
His history is that he shows up in games like this. I think that they'll win this. When they leave here, they go to
the Raptors.
They'll play the Raptors, which is, I think, an easier matchup
It
for
is
them.
easy. It way easier matchup.
I think it's a easier matchup for them. So I have them, if they can get by in Indiana tonight, I have them getting by.
And they're
the
actually
Raptors.
playing right now, folks, and it's 51-41. The Cavs are up by 10 in the second quarter.
In the
So
second
that's
quarter.
what should be going on.
So
I was going to talk to you about one more thing, and just playing devil's advocate, if the Cavs lose tonight, for whatever reason, is LeBron going to L.A.? Is that where he's going?
if they lose tonight, I don't know whether he's going to L.A., but he won't be in Cleveland.
Right. Because I think Kawhi is going to L.A. I think Paul George is going to L.A.
Now, if they get Kawhi, Paul George, and LeBron, the Lakers are back to Showtime.
Right.
But you know that means getting rid of the ball boy.
Right. Which I don't think they have a problem with.
Yeah, no,
because
I don't think
Kuzma,
that.
I don't know if you guys folks have heard of Kuzma. He's better.
He's better. He's playing better.
better.
There's no drama.
Right.
The thing with the dad, with the other two boys that went overseas, the one boy has the nerve to declare for the
For the
NBA
NBA
draft.
draft.
They said, you can't make a college team, young man.
Right.
But his dad, so this experiment his father had with taking my boys and we're going to rule the NBA. Of course, we haven't heard about them $500 shoes anymore.
Thank God. I think they were $800.
So nobody's with that. But I think that he'll go to LA would be a landing spot if Kawhi goes, which sets up another thing, man, with the thing with Kawhi Leonard leaving San Antonio in the way that he will. It puts a really strange cloud over that. Greg Pop, that it was supposed to be such a great franchise, and he was the basketball whisperer, and he could take care of it and make anybody into the fold and do the right thing. But it's going to be interesting, folks.
Real quick, who do you got in the finals? Who's going to the finals? Cavs? Is it still Cavs and the Golden State?
Well, we know Golden State's rolling because when they get back Steph Curry, it's going to be unbelievable. If the Cavs get by
Pacers tonight.
Well, and it looks like they're winning.
Yeah.
I have it still the Cavs and Golden State, and then I have Golden State putting them out.
All right. Well, thank you folks for joining us. See us next week. Again, comment, subscribe.